expedite.
Go.
Okay. You are live.
Okay, let's call to order the city council special meeting for June 8th. Roll call, please. Or do we have, no, we don't have to do that on the special meetings, do we?
We do, yeah. Let me get it. Sorry, I lost it.
Under the governor's executive, go ahead.
We should have it all memorized by now.
Yeah, that's
The procedures adopted for this meeting meet or exceed the standards set forth in Governor Newsom's Order N-25-20, which allows public meetings like this one to be held by teleconference to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. At this time, I will conduct roll, and I would ask the mayor to recognize me afterward to confirm certain matters for the record.
okay.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Here.
Councilmember Burrows,
Here.
Councilmember Zabar,
Here,
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Here.
and Mayor Hudson.
Here, city clerk has the floor.
Based on the responses to roll call, the record should reflect that the council members can hear the proceedings clearly. And if there are no objections, the record will further reflect that each council member believes, based on voice or facial recognition or otherwise, that the persons representing themselves to be council members are in fact council members.
We do. Okay, let's open up public comment. Now's the time for anyone, since there are no attendees, to address this august body on any item not on tonight's agenda. Actually, it's a special meeting, so it would be for, who do we have? 3-1 or 3-2? Hey, we have one attendee. Is there anyone wishing to address us on 3-1 or 3-2? Seeing no hands go up, we won't do the *9 or Zoom. Let's see, let's go on to city council appointments. First one will be Parks and Community Service Commission Student Commissioner appointment. And this person will be the vice chair, is that correct? Of the student council this year. Is there any staff reports you have for us, Christina, or we just move right into, let's listen to Anya?
So she is not in the audience yet,
Okay,
but this appointment this evening will be for the vice chair. The teen council did amend their bylaws 2 years ago to include the appointment of a vice chair every year. So the vice chair will become the vice chair for the term, and the following year they will become the chair of the teen council. So this evening we're interviewing, the city council is interviewing for the vice chair position for the next term.
okay. That sounds good to me. Let's just sit tight until she comes on. I've got lots of coffee.
Let's see if we can give her a call and see if she can log in early. Or he.
Has everybody got a question for her? Him, her, or whenever they come up? Sridhar put his thumb up first. He's the first question. My screen goes Sridhar, Sabina, Mark, Scott.
Okay.
Unless you want to mix them up.
whatever you say, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. All right. Now, first one is Anya Hayapan. I hope I have that right.
You got it. Anya Ayappan.
Okay. Partha's the only one that's in the attendees, so it's not there.
I think we're gonna give her, Joan's calling her to see if they can log in early.
Well, yeah.
I'm having difficulties with her cell phone, and so let me just call her home phone. It's not accepting messages. Just one moment, please.
Probably because she's waiting for us. Uh-oh, my lineup just moved. Mark went
Texting my
far
ear.
right.
You know you can grab a person and move them in the gallery view. In gallery view, you can move people
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. He's back. place is beginning to look like it's almost open.
You get your shades up in your office there, Dave?
Yeah, I just moved forward and moved back. Actually, they did. Somebody was going to be doing something here. I was supposed to move, but
Monday.
is that what it is? Monday? Something else going Monday. It's starting to add up.
So, well, I guess you may have noticed, Mark, I kind of cleaned up the office a little bit.
I know.
And I looked through all of the big documents that were around, and I arranged them on the bookshelves. So we have CIP, audited, audits, financial audits, the budget, and some other documents, and I grouped them and I arranged them by year. So most of the paper copies are there on a bookshelf, kind of by your locker.
Stay out of my stash.
Yeah, I'd stay out of your stash. So if you, we go back, and some of them will go back 8 or 9 years of documents there. So if it's not there, of course, finance or engineering will have a copy of whatever is missing, but I put a copy of everything I could find in order up there.
Good. I'll go peruse that. I've already started my own collection of things, documents and plans and things like that, and it's expanding
Yeah.
every
it
week.
can.
There's a lot of paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Just
you
have
didn't
to
get the
coordinate.
shovel.
Yeah.
Sabina got the shovel.
Did anybody else take that shovel? Mine is going to be on my wall.
Okay.
That was a good shovel. You should use it.
Um,
I ended up with the helmet, but not the shovel.
I have got a little red wagon, and I don't know what was there was something that he gave out, little red wagon, Scott. It might have been before you're there. It's so old that the plastic on the wheels started disintegrating. It was like,
Well, we once qualified for a Best Community in America program.
Yeah.
And I went to the awards ceremony that was back in Washington, and their symbol, as I recall, was little red wagons. And that may have been where you got that.
yeah.
It was interesting. General Colin Powell was in attendance.
Yeah. I think he was running that thing at the time.
He may have been on
Like
their
Gary?
executive board.
Yeah.
I think he was on their executive board, but obviously for that kind of program, they've got a whole staff to do things.
and how did we get that?
Well, you apply. I mean, and you fill out the forms, and I think Jeffy Oreo and Kathy Hyman filled out all the forms and submitted
Probably
them.
McNamara.
And yeah, could have been. And there's a half a dozen, if you want to be a tree city, USA, there's a form you fill out and you submit it, and they look it over. And if you got enough trees in town, you can become a tree city USA,
Let me interrupt here. We've got, but I don't believe this is the candidate, Christina. Is that correct?
She just logged in.
Okay.
Oh, there
good.
you go. There
Anya,
we go.
you're up.
Okay.
I'm promoting her right now.
Cool.
Okay. And the other two are not related to a candidate?
Uh,
I'm so sorry. Was I late? I thought.
No, you're on time. We're early.
Okay, great.
And Anya, we're going to ask you a couple questions, or one question each. We'll allow you to make a opening statement if you wish, and ask us anything at the end. The whole thing will probably take about 15 minutes tops, but why don't you take a minute and a half and tell us about Anya?
Okay, great. So my name is Anya. I'm a rising sophomore at Doherty Valley High School. I've been involved with the teen council for the past 2 years, first as an ambassador and second as the first alternate to the teen council. I thoroughly enjoy being a part of it. I love being engaged with my community, learning more about how the city government works itself. It's something I'm extremely passionate about, and something I just want to keep learning more about. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've already been given, and I would love to continue the work I've been doing as the vice chair and chair to help, really pursue my goals of like helping the teen council reach a broader population and help create strong solutions.
Great. Sridhar, why don't you start us off? You're on mute. That was a great question.
Hi, Anya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you. Thanks for applying for this position. My question is regarding mental health issue, wellness issue that pretty much all of you applicants mentioned that in your application.
Mhm.
Because it looks like teens are facing mental health issues with the stress, anxiety, or lack of support.
Yes.
And also, like we have many community resources available to help with mental health issues
Mhm.
within the community. However, I keep hearing that the major challenge is stigma within the community to reach out for the help.
That's definitely true.
As a teen council chair, do you have any ideas or suggestions about breaking this stigma?
Right. So I feel like a lot of mental health problems actually stem from the fact that, or at least during this time of COVID, the reason we've seen such a rise is because teens don't really have a sense of purpose, is what I would associate it with more. So in this past year, as a member of the Teen Council, we've helped put together a project where we reached out to people who are part of mental health groups to help advocate for what they're doing, and other groups that are just involved with larger scale issues and help bring that to teens so they could be a part of something larger than themselves. A lot of teens have felt extremely isolated because of the COVID situation, and because there wasn't much of a purpose, there wasn't much to do, we were stuck at home. They really just feel like this huge disconnect, in a way of bringing that back, especially as we go back to school, hopefully, fingers crossed. Is just to make sure that there's like a system they can rely on. So really helping bring attention to groups that are really doing good work, like for things like climate change, women empowerment, even mental health specifically, helping them associate with those and being a part of something larger than themselves could really help them in this time.
Thank you.
Sabina. No, I should have left
Making
that shit
sure.
off.
Hi, Anya. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So why don't you share with me the one thing that you're super proud of that you did on the Teen Council in the past year?
Right. So I was a member of the Community Outreach Subcommittee, and through that, I helped broaden the Teen Council's reach. We saw quantifiable success for programs like the OTCO Award, the Teen Talent Showcase. Like for the OTCO Award, we usually get 0 to 5 applications per year. This year, I think we got around 24, which was a huge jump. For the Teen Talent Showcase, they saw so much success that they're planning on hosting a second event this summer. Because of the amount of engagement they got. And two of my biggest ways of being a part of that was first through social media. We saw so much success with that Jen even let us know, I think at our last meeting or second to last, that the Teen Council can actually have the possibility of being given our own Instagram account to help advertise things on social media. So that was something that was very effective. The second is just through networking. I've helped develop relations with school administration, club leaders, and other organizations that teens are closely associated with. And through that, we've seen such a huge engagement, and that's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm going to continue pursuing.
Thank you.
Member Armstrong.
Okay, hi, Anya.
Hi.
Hi. Describe your ideas on ways that our teens can assist our seniors as we come out of the pandemic.
Right, of course. So creating more volunteer opportunities. I know there are a lot of clubs, at least on my school campus, that actually have to do with helping seniors and just making those opportunities more available. My expertise on the Teen Council happens to be advertising. So that's one way I would go about it, making these things more known to the teens. Like this past year, I think we had tech days. I think we turned that into just more recreational events, hanging out with seniors, making them feel less lonely. For me, a way I was involved was also letter writing. I had a senior pen pal. This was not through the teen council. This was through another organization. But through that, I had a senior pen pal just to keep them company and just to like help reinstill that sense of community. And there was someone who cared about them. And I would love to keep bringing that to more teens. I feel a lot of teens would love to be a part of something like that. So advertising, making more organizations known would be the top two things I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
I really like that pen pal thing. Maybe you can make that part of our senior or our student.
I would love to bring that to the teen council. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. My question is, what is your highest priority for San Ramon students returning to the classroom? Thinking about beyond your own club, the teen council, but what can the teen council do for students returning to the classroom?
So I can tell this from my own experience and my other friends is that we're all pretty nervous about going back to school. We've been away from everyone for so long. Social interactions have come down to a halt. I already brought up the point about, making sure that teens have a community they can rely on and a sense of purpose. So really pushing organizations that are doing good work. So a big project of mine or like a goal of mine has always been to get teens more involved with the community and just larger scale issues, being more politically aware. So that's one way of doing that, to give them a larger sense of purpose because we have so many clubs doing that. And just making sure they have a support system to rely on. So really promoting those clubs and organizations and just something they can be a part of would be my biggest thing.
Thank you.
And my question is, Anya, what is your favorite form of recreation? Where would you add this recreation in San Ramon if you had the opportunity?
I love reading so much. I love reading just for fun, reading economics, studying.
This question was made for you, Anya. I read that part of it.
I love it. Yeah, I love reading. So I've been a part of the library, I was a library liaison, I was a liaison from the teen council to the library advisory committee, I think is what it was called officially. I'm not sure if I got that completely right, but I would love to keep working with them. I noticed a lot of their projects were pretty tailored to the teen council. So, having more of a working together, more really promoting that projects together. And because they can, actually enact or like they can, pursue projects in a way that the teen council can't because we're just an advisory committee. Really, if we can create projects and then bring them to the library committee to like execute, I feel like that would be a really effective partnership.
Very good. Any questions you have of us?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, we like that answer right there. Stop. Okay, thank you very much, Anya. We have, I believe it is 5 interviews tonight, and we will be making a decision, and you'll be notified by the city clerk. And thank you for coming in early.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You just cut out.
Oh, I said, thank you for coming in early. You'll be notified.
Could you just repeat that? I'm so sorry. My internet.
Oh,
Tonight?
can you hear me now? Okay. I just said, thank you for coming in early.
Yes.
That's all. You'll be notified tonight.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye now.
Bye.
And Christina, who do we have now?
We are calling the next individual to come on early because we do have about 5 minutes for the next interview. So we're going to see if she can come on early.
We are quick.
You are very quick.
Yep. I would
Just
tell
when
you.
I think I have the timing down, you guys throw me for a loop.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of like little questions. No, this is the right thing. It's just that, I mean, how much opportunities have you had when you're in the 10th and 11th grade? I'm amazed every time I read these things. I mean, these people weren't alive when I started this, Christine. I'm old. Such is life. Yeah, I drove down to Santana Row to take a look at what they had, and I read Anya's blurb, how much she loves reading. And I got to tell you, you send her down to Santana Row, she'll come back with an idea. Add Amazon reading to Bishop or to City Center, along with what is it? 8 beta A or something like that. I get beta A, B8. These names you guys come up with in tech are crazy. But I looked at that and it fits right into that bottom empty spot at City Center. And
So
you don't
COVID has
think,
been good to Santana Row, right?
pardon?
COVID has been good to Santana Row. They've really,
Yeah, no, they're thriving.
they're
Uh,
thriving.
Well, the reason it made sense is because I was going to Santa Cruz and 17 got closed for 5 hours. So that's a nice, we'll cut back that way and try and take the back way in.
The next
Well,
candidate has signed in.
good, and that is Sadana. Is that correct? Did I say that correct?
She's being promoted right now.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Did I pronounce that right, Sadana?
My name is Sadhna.
I was not even close. Okay, Sadhna, we're going to each ask you one question, but first we're going to ask if you could take a minute, minute and a half, tell us a little bit about you, and then after we're through, we'll ask you if you have any questions of us. That sound okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, take a minute, minute and a half, and tell us a little bit about Sadhna.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sadhna Tedapalli. I'm a rising sophomore at Doherty Valley High School. I moved to San Ramon around 8 years ago, and since then I've been going to the local elementary school, middle school, and now high school. This year has been completely unprecedented, completely different from the rest, and I do have to say that I have taken this as an opportunity to grow as a person. A lot has changed in this past year, and the things I've done have helped me develop my leadership skills and also kind of change my mindset on us as a community as well. I think that together we have grown as a community and we've seen each other struggle in difficult times. And I've been a part of efforts that have been helping reduce the effects of COVID-19. I've helped distributed supplies for low-income communities, and I've also tutored for students, and I've taken those opportunities as well. Overall, just for hobbies, I like to read a lot. These past few days, summer break has started for me, and I've taken this as time to catch up on my reading, watch TV shows, and other than that, I do Taekwondo, and it's also one of my passions. I've been doing this for around 10 years now, and I recently received my 3rd-degree black belt.
Oh, very good. Okay, our first question will be from Councilmember Burrows.
Hi, Sadhana. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you. Thank you for applying for this position.
Of course.
My question for you, Sadhana, is all of your applicants mentioned that mental health is a major concern for our teens in form of stress, anxiety, or lack of support. So we do have many community resources available to help with mental health wellness within the community. However, I keep hearing that major challenge is stigma within the community to reach out for the help. As a teen council chair, do you have any ideas or suggestions about breaking the stigma?
Yes, I actually do. A lot of the time for mental health, as you mentioned, there is like a negative stigma about reaching out or asking for help. And that's just because of the environment that we're growing up in. Mental health isn't something that we're specifically taught about or isn't something that's been elaborated on until we reach a certain age. I myself did not have any idea about mental health until I reached the end of middle school and started high school. And I think that that's the right time to definitely introduce it. But for some people, that's something they struggle with well beyond the time that they reach high school. So they are struggling with mental health from middle school itself or early elementary school. So the idea that I would have is kind of incorporating mental health coping strategies into earlier on in the curriculum. We do definitely reach it as soon as we get to high school and the end of middle school, which is from us 8th grade. But if we incorporate things like how to cope with mental health into the curriculum itself from maybe late elementary school or early middle school, I think students would not have such a stigma around it itself, and it would encourage them to reach out more because they know and they feel supported within their classrooms itself from a young age.
Thank you. Councilmember Zafar.
Hi, Sadhna. Thank you so much. So what is the one thing that in the last year being on the teen council that you're super proud that you worked on?
Oh, I unfortunately was not on the teen council in the past year.
Okay. All right. So my bad, because I thought we were doing the vice chair from, so you're on the teen council this year?
Yes, I will be starting in fall of 2021.
Okay. You can talk about something you did not being on the teen council.
All right. So in this past year, I took lead on a project where we kind of gifted care packages to healthcare workers at Kaiser. We raised funds within our families and communities and put these together with a group of my friends and a few new people that I met over the summer, and we delivered those. In addition to that, personally, I've taken part in many drives. And helped with the fire and COVID-19 reliefs, which had happened in late 2020. There were fires down in different counties and also the COVID-19 reliefs as well.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Armstrong.
Hi, Sadhna. Would you please describe your ideas on practical ways that our teens can assist our seniors as we come out of the pandemic?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that one thing that definitely will not be changing as we get out of this pandemic is our use of technology. We have definitely learned how to use things like webinars. So Zoom is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I know that myself will be using this for online meetings in the upcoming school year. So I think one way that the teens of San Ramon can help our seniors is by actually teaching them how to use online forums such as Zoom, which gives them a way to connect with their families in situations where they can't meet them in person.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Hi, thank you very much for applying tonight. So what is your highest priority for San Ramon students returning to the classroom? So we're looking beyond the teen council. How can the teen council help San Ramon students?
I think that this is a wonderful question because I have personally been thinking about this myself going back into the next school year. I think that the top priority would be easing the transition. Over the past year, we have adapted to the online aspect of schooling, and I think one way we can make transitions easier is by giving orientation days or something along those lines, because I do know the class of 2025, class of 2023, and different classes going into elementary and middle school have not even seen the campuses at all. So that would be one thing, teaching them around the campus, telling them where each thing is. Another thing would be social events to have the students get to know each other. I think that social interactions have gone down tremendously over the past year, and I think that that would be another thing that would ease the transition for all students regardless of age, because friendships and social interactions are basically what gets us through our time in school, along with the help of our teachers.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And my question is, and I think you've got it down here already, what is your favorite form of recreation? And where would you add this recreation in San Ramon if you could have Scotty beam it down? Wait a minute, you're too young to know what that is. I'm sorry. If you could just put it anywhere with a wave of the hand.
I did mention that my favorite recreation is taekwondo, reading, watching television, but those are things that kind of already exist. There are taekwondo studios, there's a library. I think that maybe instead of any of those, it'd be like a combined recreational center where there could be different things. So there would be like a place for clubs to exist. I know that there's like a robotics club at Rancho Park, and there's the library where there's a bunch of classes held. If we could put together one recreational center where all of this could be done and surrounding it a park, this would be a great place for anyone to go just to enjoy themselves for a day. And I think that if I could wave my wand, that's what I would do.
Did you know what I was talking about when I said have Scotty beam it down?
No, unfortunately, I didn't.
That's okay. Most people don't know who the Beatles were either. All right. Any questions you have of us, Sadhna?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in early. We will be making a decision on this tonight, and you will be notified by the city clerk. And thank you again.
Okay, thank you all for this
Very
opportunity.
good job.
Have a nice evening.
You too.
Yep.
All right, we will wait for, is it Darshita is next?
We are calling them to see if they can log in early.
Yeah, I will tell the call-in user beforehand that all the public comments had to come during public comment. This is a special meeting, so we won't be taking comments on the interviews. Wow. The last one is not interviewing. So when we get to, it looks like probably around 5:55, you guys, Mark, you're gonna ask the first question on this one, okay? So I'll give you the heads up. I will shake it up a little bit. Sabina can have the one after that. We won't put so much pressure on Sridhar.
You talk about for library?
For Darshita,
Oh, for Darshita. Oh, okay.
She just logged in. I'll promote her now.
okay. Oh, where are you? Hi, Darshita. I'm Dave Hudson, the mayor. We're going to each ask you one question. But before we ask the question, we're going to give you an opportunity for a minute, minute and a half to tell us a little bit about Darshita. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
And then after the questions, we'll ask you if you have any questions of us or anything you'd like to say. So please take a minute, minute and a half and tell us a little bit about Darshita.
All right. My name is Darshita. I am currently a sophomore at Doherty Valley, so rising junior. Well, some things about me is I think I enjoy the creative arts. I have been painting for since I was 5 years old, so it's something I enjoy doing, and it brings a lot of peace to me. I play the guitar and I sing, and so recently I've started a YouTube channel. So I just create my own songs and I post them for people to listen to them, and I think it's a great way to use my free time. So that definitely brings me some enjoyment. I am part of leadership, so I do a lot of publicizing for our school, and I think that's a fun way to promote aspects of Doherty Valley. And we recently partnered with the special ed committee, so we've just been teaching them art, and I think that's a great way to promote my passion. So that's something I enjoy as well. Not much else to say about myself. I think I'm an outgoing person when I start to meet more people and just get a little bit more comfortable where I am. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. I'm just looking around my room to see if there's anything else I can talk about.
Okay, thank you, Darshita. The first question will come from Councilmember Armstrong.
Hi, Darshita.
Hello.
My question is really, I'm going to ask you to describe your ideas on some practical ways that our teens can assist our seniors as we come out of the pandemic.
Yeah,
I not think seniors in high school, but our aging population, our seniors, our citizens.
Oh, yeah, right, of course. So one way I'd say that we can help seniors in high school, I think now that we're going back into a more in-person environment, I think we can start to do more cards or sending, if we can, maybe write a card to a senior and have it sent out to their address, or maybe a gift basket. That would be a great way to really start it off. We've been doing things like that in our leadership, where where each leadership student writes a card to a graduating senior, and we get to know them a little bit more through these gifts and cards. So that's a great way to start it off. We can also maybe host something where a senior who they can talk about their experiences, and we can just maybe we can share some memories of their time at their school, and just send them off in that way.
Mark, were you referring to school seniors or senior citizens?
Senior citizens. Yeah.
Oh, okay, senior citizens.
Yeah.
All right, so could you repeat the question one more time then?
Absolutely. Just, I'm looking for your ideas on practical ways that teens can help out our senior citizens as they come out of the pandemic.
Yeah, well, teens, what we can do is we have organizations or clubs at our schools that specifically are aimed to help senior citizens. So we have a music club that performs music at senior resident homes. So what we can do is we can always collaborate with those clubs, whether it's like at Doherty Valley or Cal High, and we can get them to participate in helping senior citizens. So I think that way we can get more teens at different schools involved in that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, trying to think, you started it off, so let's go to Councilmember Veros and then Zafar.
Hi, Darshita. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for applying for this position. My question for you, Darshita, is all of you applicants mentioned that mental health is a major concern for our teens in form of stress, anxiety, or lack of support. So we do have many community resources available to help with mental health wellness. However, I keep hearing that major challenge is the stigma within the community to reach out for the help. So as a teen council chair, do you have any, or vice chair, do you have any ideas about breaking the stigma?
So we recently made an event called Quarantine Involvement that has some section on mental health. And so we brought in some mental health professionals and they talked about their how they can help. So gathering these experienced people to talk about their experiences and then sharing that with other teens is a good start. And then what's more important is I think having just teens themselves talk about, if the teen council could talk about how they're free to support anyone, and then just promoting that inclusiveness in this environment. I think we can get more that I think that'll help more teens to speak out, or just having like live recordings or meetings to talk about, for teens to just talk about their what they feel like in this in school, and just sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember, you're on mute, Sabina.
Hi, Darshita. Thank you so much for applying. And you're on the teen council, right? You were on the
Yeah.
teen council last year. So share with me something that you're super proud of that you achieved being on the teen council in the last year.
So I was part of the Teen Council Ambassador program last year. So the reason I joined that was because my friends never knew what teen council was, so I thought of it as an opportunity to help give them a voice. So being in teen council, I think the reason why I was able to really naturally flow into that was because I was part of leadership. So that helped me because I had guidance from my leadership teacher. But then going into teen council, I noticed that you can be proactive with just the guidance of other teens. So it's important for people to know that. And I was able to, as an ambassador, share that with my friends who didn't know what teen council was, and now they listen to the meetings that are recorded, and are posted on YouTube. And I think that's a great sign that they know that they can also be proactive in the community just by listening to what we do. So I'm really proud of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Perkins.
Thank you very much for applying. What is your highest priority for San Ramon students returning to the classroom? By that, I mean, what can the teen council do to help students that are returning to the classroom after being out for a year and a half?
I think the biggest thing we can do is show support. With support, we have a better chance of, increasing positivity in our community. And it's teen council, as teens, we can support other teens to just know that they are accepted in the community that they are part of. So going in person, what I do, my priority is forming connections with these students, maybe not individually, that might take a lot of time, but through community organizations. So if they have a club, teen council, talking to those clubs and maybe showcasing those clubs to make them know that their work and what they do in a virtual setting or in-person setting is valued. And just, forming those connections and networking with them. I think that'll lead to a stronger presence for teen council and also an incentive for other teens to be more proactive in our community.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Darshita. My question is, what is your favorite form of recreation? And where would you add this recreation to the city if you could wave your magic wand?
My favorite form of recreation, I talk about it a lot, but it is art. It's such a peaceful way of relieving your stress. And I know a lot of others also think the same. So if I were to do art classes or maybe just those fill in the number art meditation pieces for people to just join and color in and just talk and then leave. I think that'll relieve stress, and I would put that as an event maybe in the summer or in the school, like after school.
Very good. Have you been to the city center to see the artwork that they've done there?
Oh yeah, I definitely have seen a lot of the arts, and I think it's I think it looks really good.
Okay. Anything you want to ask of us in a minute or so?
I'm just curious about, do you know from your personal experience anything that the teen council can improve on?
Well, I'll start that one off. Just being you. I swear every year these kids come up, I keep thinking, why am I wasting my time running for office? Just get out of the way. And I see 4 other faces that are saying the same thing. But in any case, that my personal opinion is just, I see giving people the opportunity to shine just brings people out to shine. They do it year after year.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd like to add, council members, vice mayor?
No,
Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you very much for applying. We really appreciate you showing up and talking with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you very much, Darshita. We will be making a selection tonight. Great candidates once again, and you will be notified by our city clerk what the results are. Tomorrow, next day, I'm looking at Christina, she's nodding her head. As soon as she can get out the word. Again, thank you for coming in early.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we will move on to the next one. We've got it. Go ahead, Mark. Oh, you were waving. Yeah, we've had a caller in that says, why are we interviewing now? We're not interviewing teen council. Basically, we're interviewing for the vice chair seat. And then they will move to the chairmanship. Is that correct? Everybody nodding to see if I've got this right. And it gives them an opportunity to, you know, to move into it, I think, in a more, not transparent, what's the word I'm looking for? It flows better. I mean, you know what your responsibility is, et cetera. Sabina, you want to add to that?
No, I was just, I somehow thought everybody was already on council, but this is teen council, but this is incoming and existing teen council.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to take into consideration when we get through our last person. Is it Sachi? And he's not on yet, so I shouldn't say that. Is it 5:55? Maybe, is somebody calling up, Christina?
We've tried calling them. It looks like we've left a message, but we're gonna try a different phone number to see if we can get a
Okay.
hold of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's us. We're a moving group. And is it Arpita Gupta won't be interviewing? We can read her application.
So she was traveling and was not able to attend the interviews today.
Yeah, like that. You want to get your, what is it, passport updated, Scott? Maybe you better take a look at what some of those costs are. I don't know if you have enough miles to pay. I still can't believe when I looked at Sydney a couple months ago. No economy plus 24,000 round trip.
They don't want you coming to Sydney.
They don't want you coming to Sydney. The weird part about it is, if I went for free, I could probably walk on like that with a pass. But they're not the only ones that don't want me going to Sydney. Anyway, we will listen to one more candidate, and then I don't know if you want to take 5 or just get right into discussion before.
I'd move right to discussion and then see what time it is for the
Yeah.
library one.
And who is our representative to the teen council?
Mark.
Mark?
Yeah, I've been attending.
Okay. Well, Mark can be forewarned. Sabina, you're going to get the first question this time. But Mark, you're going to kick it off on what you think of the candidates. We'll start with the, somebody that's been to these things. I don't think I've been to one in about 6 years.
I know Sabina's been to some too.
Okay.
I was going last year, but when Mark decided to go, I'm like, I don't know if 2 council members should be showing up.
Well, then now you've got, you can start it off and, okay, whatever. I'm reading the emails as they come through at the same time, but go ahead.
Logged out. I was gonna say they logged in, but it looks like they logged out. So let's see if they, let's see if this is her.
Okay. But we'll let Mark and then Sabina kind of kick off the discussion if that's okay, because.
Sure.
All right, we've got it. Did I pronounce this right? Is it Sachi?
Yeah, Sachi, that's correct.
Hey, I'm almost close. Okay. Sachi, we're gonna each ask you one question. But before we do, we're gonna ask you if you want to give us a minute, minute and a half. Tell us a little bit about Sachi, and afterwards, we'll ask you if you want a minute, minute and a half, if there's any questions you have of us or anything that you'd like to say. So take a minute, minute and a half and tell us about you.
Right, okay, so hi, my name is Sachi Sharma. I'm currently going to be a junior at Cal High School next year. I'm 16 years old. I love the performing arts. I've been acting since I was in like 2nd grade. I love music. I love people. I'm a big people person, love communication, talking to others, reaching out. That's always been a goal of mine. I'm also I have a big passion in community service, which is one of the reasons that I'm participating in Teen Council. I've always looked for ways to be a part of my community. In fact, I want to explore a career in politics and government just so that I can spend my entire life helping other people and improving our society. Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay, thank you, Sachi. We're going to start off with Sabina Zafar to give you the first question. Or were you first last time, Sabina? No, you're first this time. Go ahead.
Hi, Sachi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So this is going to be your first year on Teen Council?
That's correct.
Awesome. So share with me one thing that you're super proud of that you did in the last year.
Yeah, so earlier this year, actually, I started a podcast. It's called Painting the Bigger Picture. And I wanted to find a way to reach out to people my age, other teenagers that were going through things. I know for me, I've always been a very big extrovert, and I've always had very clear cut thinking when it comes to people and relationships. And I wanted to help people understand that mindset as well, and be able to communicate with others in a more clear way as well. So through my podcast, I've made an attempt to reach out to teens and teach them different ways to think about situations, solve their conflicts with simple resolutions. And it's been going well so far. I've been trying to share it with as many people as possible, but I'm very proud of it because it really plays to the issue that is with teens, with their issues in life.
Okay.
Thank you. So much.
Sridhar Varos, you have the next question.
Sachi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Thanks for applying. So Sachi, my question for you is, all of you applicants mentioned that mental health is a major concern for our teens. Of stress, anxiety, or lack of support. So we do have community resources available to help with mental health wellness. However, I keep hearing that major challenge is stigma within the community to reach out for the help. As a teen council vice chair and future chair, do you have any ideas about breaking this stigma?
Right. So this is a really important issue to me. That's actually partly the reason I started my podcast and why I try to get involved in community service in my community. It's been really difficult for teenagers, especially during COVID-19. I've seen a lot of mental health issues arise, especially with my friends. Even recently, a very close friend of mine was having very suicidal thoughts, and I was trying my best to help out. But it's very difficult to deal with for teenagers because it's hard for them to ask for help, and they're not being made aware of our community resources as they should be. The most that I've ever heard in school is, talking to counselors at school, which is also a very uncomfortable situation for a lot of teenagers. And I know a lot of them feel like they can't always reach out because they think that other people might not understand, or they might just say, oh, I'm sorry, and not really help bring a solution. Or maybe they just want to vent and someone is trying to give them a solution and they just want to vent their feelings. But either way, I do have a few ideas. I want to make it just more accessible and bring more awareness to it. There's just so much stigma around it. People are asking for attention if they have mental health issues, and it's so wrong. But I feel like if we brought teens as a community together, and not just to share mental health issues, but any issues in general that they feel like they just want to get off their chest in a very open, accepting community atmosphere, maybe being guided by a few teenagers, just a very safe space that's available at a designated time, every consistently, or frequently, maybe once every month, something like that, even through Zoom, or as things open up in person, at a park, something like that, to really bring us together and make us feel more unified, and like people aren't going through things alone. They can always get something off their chest, and they can always reach out for help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Armstrong. You're on mute.
There we go. How are you today?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'd like you to describe your ideas on some practical ways that teens can assist our senior citizens as we come out of the pandemic.
So there are a few ways I've thought of. Number one would be, I'm a big fan of the performing arts, and I know a lot of teenagers are looking for volunteering opportunities at all times. It would be really cool if, I've noticed that with older generations and younger generations, there's a very strong communication blockage, because seniors usually, their way of bonding with teenagers is very different from the way teenagers want to bond with, seniors. And if we found something in common where, you know, we could unite the two and make them feel like they could even be friends in a way, that would be a really interesting idea. So I was thinking through the performing arts, which everybody loves, it makes everybody feel alive and you know, joyful. Through music, you know, if there's like regular shows that teenagers can put on that they can, you know, use their skills to their advantage for, or workshops, classes where they can take classes together. I know I've always wanted to learn how to knit or crochet, something like that, that we can, you know, get through together and just like unite each other within this community, because we have so many lovely seniors and so many lovely teenagers, but there's really that blockage in terms of communication and interest.
Okay.
And Vice Mayor Perkins.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for applying today.
Thank you.
What is your highest priority for San Ramon students returning to the classroom? So what can the teen council do for San Ramon students?
Right. One of the things I've noticed during COVID-19 is that with teachers especially, missing that teacher to student interaction has been a great miss for over quarantine and over online school. I learned much better personally in a classroom, interacting face to face with teachers, you know, being more comfortable asking questions. And I feel that that's a common issue amongst most teens as well. Again, it comes down to communication. So if we make the environment a lot more easy for teenagers to speak up, ask questions, if they're curious about something, you know, be able to question the material that they're learning, so that not only are they learning because they're being told to learn, but they're learning because they want to learn. And I feel like that's always been an issue, even despite online school, despite returning back to school after being online for a year. It's always been a definite problem, but it's even more now so that a lot of teenagers haven't been paying as much attention. It's really easy to get distracted when you're on the computer, and I know that firsthand. But going back, if there's a more engaging atmosphere in classrooms where teenagers feel more like attentive to the material, they want to learn, and they're not just being dictated to, creating that bond between student teachers is definitely a great way to do it. And I really believe that could solve a lot of the issues, even in curriculum and just in general.
Okay, thank you. My question's a little more simple. What is your favorite form of recreation? And where would you add this recreation to San Ramon if you could wave your magic wand?
So as I said earlier, I'm a big performing arts theater fan. I've been acting since I was a kid. During quarantine, it's been really difficult to entertain that passion because, you know, there's not many places where I can perform or, you know, get that part of me off my chest. So it's kind of just been in my closet for a little bit, but I'm really glad things are improving, especially in San Ramon. And I would like to make it so that people can bring their talents for more people to see, you know, maybe I know a lot of my friends have really hidden talents that I wish they could like display to the entire world. One of my friends even joined a band, and not many people know about it, but I would love for that to be more of a public thing, and it's because it's super cool and unique. So if there was a way to have regular, or at least maybe even if there already is, if there was more awareness to it, but there was a way for people to showcase their talents, just more community building activities, you know, networking, getting to know people through those passions. You can find people that have things in common with you and people that are similar to you, and it'd be really interesting and fun.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming on early. We just are moving right along tonight. The last thing is, if you want to take a minute and a half or so, are there any questions you have of us or any other statement you'd like to make?
Thank you so much for your time and this opportunity. It was really great talking to everyone today. One quick question was, what are the resources that I'll have as vice chair to the teen council that would properly allow me to, expand networking for teens or awareness for teens, anything like that, that I would have access to?
Well, what do you think? Finance, a $50 million budget, unlimited audio visual. I'm not, that is such a darn good question. I'm really stymied by the answer.
Actually, I'll take it.
Go
a stab
ahead.
at it. Just, as a member of the teen council, there's also staff from the Parks and Community Services department, and they do a great job in facilitating the meetings, and they've got a lot of resources available to kind of help guide the discussions, help to reach out and kind of pull things together. So it's not just that the teens are going to get together and have to kind of muddle their way through figuring out some tough issues. There's some staff who's been around for a while and can provide that continuity. But you also have other teen council members and different committees and subcommittees and things like that everyone participates on and reports back on, and opportunities to be a liaison to other committees or commissions. And so it's really a great opportunity. You won't be alone. There's a lot of people to help out and provide those resources, I think.
Great to hear. Thank you so much.
And there's always the, we don't know until we know. So it's something you're just walking down the street and here comes the great idea. Sabina, you're unmuted. You had a comment?
Yeah, I was going to say, as a vice chair, it really allows you to take that leadership role and execute on some of the things. So I think a lot of times when you're part of these committees, you're volunteering for it, and they do need people to come and help execute on things. So getting things done.
Right.
Vice Mayor Perkins?
Yeah, I just thought I'd quickly mention that a few years ago, the teen council actually worked with our legal staff to draft the smoking ordinance in San Ramon. So that was an initiative that came from the teen council, and they were willing to put a committee together, and we agreed that that was a good resource. And so they worked with our attorney at the time, it was Bob Sachs, and crafted our smoking ordinance. So the teens played a vital role in the health of San Ramon. So sometimes you ask for something you didn't know you could have, and you get it.
Right. That's great. That's great to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on tonight, Sachi. And we will be determining, you guys made it tough on us tonight. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this. You will be notified of what the results are probably tomorrow. Our city clerk will send you out one way or the other. And thanks again for applying. I mean, you guys are really making it tough on us. Not a lot of wallflowers out there tonight. In any case, thanks again, and we will move on. And Arpita Gupta is not going to interview. She has a very good resume in here also. She is to be considered. I will leave it before the council now. Boy, I'll tell you what. Though I did want to tell her, no, you don't get a quick question. You can. We don't do quick questions on this council. But Mark, Sabina, start us off. What do you think?
Well, they're all very impressive, not just the resumes, but the way they interviewed. And I can tell you the things that they've done, the things that they've said, that's not the way I was thinking when I was in 10th and 11th grade. It's amazing to see our teens that we're kind of grooming for positions of responsibility and leadership into the future. So with respect to the interviews, if I had to kind of rack and stack them, I've got a ranking here. I probably pick Anya as my top choice. Sachi is my second choice. I really liked, I thought they were all articulate and confident, but I really liked the way Anya presented herself. I think she would demonstrate those. She has the potential for the leadership that we're looking for in the vice chair and the future chair. And she's already got experience on the teen council that I think goes a long way to helping her seamlessly get right into it. Sachi, I think interviewed, she's very confident, very did a great job with the interview. I liked her question at the end. So I could see either one of those. Sadhna did fine as well. I think she had a good interview as well. But those other two are my top two, Anya and Sachi.
Okay, Sabina, you know.
Yeah, I think again, everybody did such a great job, and like Councilmember Armstrong said, yeah, we were just having fun in 10th grade. But kudos to all of them being very prepared and doing such a great job of just coming here, and they're all on the teen council, so we're in good hands. I would agree, Anya, I think based on the experience and what she's already executed, because it does, as a first year teen council, it does take a little bit of time to find your way into how to execute on things. And Anya's kind of gotten that, she's proven, she's been on a committee, and the fact that they're going to get their own Instagram, I know that was a big thing they continue to ask. So I think that's great for outreach and a way that teenagers can reach other teenagers in San Ramon. So I would also vote for Anya to be the vice chair.
Sridhar.
So yeah, as both council members mentioned, it's fantastic to see our teens, the way they perform this interview, and also all their tasks that they, so far, the accomplishments that they did so far with all the academics that they have to do day to day. On top of this, these are all like additional accomplishments. This is amazing. And pretty much all of them got, when I ranked them, they are pretty close, but Anya definitely got a little edge over all others. So I'm also going with Anya. Sachi did pretty good. Then Anya got like experience, especially redefining the ambassador program that she did. That pretty much shaped our middle schoolers, how they are going to be future teen councils. So that's where she got a little bit edge over Sachi, but otherwise all of them are pretty close. So I'll go with Anya for now. Thank you.
Scott?
Interesting, because quite honestly, I think any one of the four could really do a fine job. I don't think there's an outlier in the bunch. The one thing that for me that was pretty important was having a year on teen council behind them, so they kind of know what's going on in the teen council, and they're not walking into it cold as the vice chair. And I thought Anya's answers were just right, spot on. I mentioned the fact that the Pen Pal program to engage our senior citizens, I think, is a fantastic idea, and I don't know that it requires a huge effort to make it work. We can work with our senior advisory committee, and maybe they can help create the addressee list for the teen council. But honestly, Anya was just a half step in front of the crowd, and I really like the fact that she already has a year on the teen council.
To me, that's the difference. And it isn't so much that she has the year, it's that the other members on the teen council have the time with her. I mean, we've watched people come up from 7, 8 years old to grow 3 feet and then be the chair as we were doing this originally. To me, if Sadhna had been the one that was on there, if Sabina, you hadn't asked that question, it would have been extremely difficult to pick one over the other. And then, I mean, Sachi, boy, oh boy, I hope she doesn't run for office next year. This could get really rough. These kids are just dynamite. I see no fear. I mean, you're supposed to be somewhat afraid when you get in front of a microphone. There's no fear there. I mean, it's, to me, that's the difference. The only difference that sets Anya on top of the other three really is that time in grade with the other students that are already on. I mean, what kind of message do you want to send that somebody walks right in that you've never seen before and takes the vice chair? I don't think it's the message we want to send when you have a great candidate like Anya. So do we need to do something with a motion here, Christina, or do we have to do? No, we need to do it here. It's a special meeting. I answered my own question. Sir, go ahead, Scott.
I'll move that we appoint Anya Ayapan. I hope that's close. To
the wrong person's going to be vice chair.
Yeah, to the teen council vice chair position for the coming year.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Perkins, a second from Armstrong. Any further discussion on this?
I was going to say, do we say vice chair and then chair next year? Because isn't that the way it's going to be?
And friendly amendment, and I accept it.
Okay, you too, Mark?
Good.
All right. Anything else, Sridhar?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay, roll call vote.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Yes.
Councilmember Veros,
Yes.
Councilmember Zafar,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Yes.
and Mayor Hudson.
Yes, that's 5-0, and we got about 4 minutes before we kick into the LEMAC for the Contra Costa County Library Commissioner. Is that correct?
Yes, we've called her and let her know that we are running ahead of schedule, so she should be logging in here shortly.
So what have I got here? Oh, that's Mosquito Vector, which we don't have anybody else that's applied. So we've got Peter Pay, that would be 3.4, and 3.3 is the open space. I'm looking ahead, waiting for her, talking out loud, guys. Peter Pay is the Vector. I don't have anybody for open space.
Yes, there's two, David.
Okay.
They're both incumbents, and
Yep.
there's two vacancies.
The fingers aren't working, that's all. I got it.
Are we?
John Miklos and Robert Peoples,
Yes,
and we're not interviewing.
right.
So, okay, and we can do this on the special meeting, Christina. We don't do it at the regular, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we'll wait for Lee Mack, and when she gets on, we'll do that.
She's logging in now.
Cool. I know she's somewhere. We're gonna be right on time. Okay, Scott, you want to go first?
Sure.
You foolishly took your off mute.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. We're good.
Okay.
We have one applicant for one position, so this ought to be tricky. There we go.
You got her?
Well, almost.
Almost.
I'm promoting her now.
There she is. Hi, Lee.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. We're each going to ask you one question, but before we do, we're going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself for a minute, minute and a half. And after the questions, we're going to ask you if you have any questions of us. So please tell us a little bit about LEMAC.
Thank you. Yes, so I am, I guess, not quite new resident to Contra Costa County. I moved to San Ramon with my husband and my newborn, turning almost a year now. Before that, I was in the East Bay in Hayward, and I was with the Keep Hayward Clean and Green Task Force, where it's part of the commission, and we just have, I believe it was monthly or 2 or 3 events quarterly, of events for the city of Hayward to promote, for city of Hayward to come together and help keep the city clean, doing just cleanups and big pickups and things like that. I am originally from the Bay Area, grew up in South Bay, and then moved to Southern California for school, then New York City for 7 years, and then now I'm back in East Bay, and then Contra Costa County.
Oh, that's good. Our first question will come from Vice Mayor Perkins.
Hi, Lee. How you doing today?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
How's the newborn? It's awful quiet there right now.
Oh, he's not. So I guess this new Zoom app must be better, but yeah, it doesn't pick up the background noise.
My question has nothing to do with the newborn, but do you have a library card?
Not to Contra Costa County, no, but I know it's been a crazy year. Hopefully you can understand. But to the one in East Bay for sure, in Castro Valley. Yeah.
Well, you need to get one. Contra
Yes, I
Costa
do.
County, and we have a brand new, practically brand new library with all kinds of kids' books and stuff. So you'll be getting into those in a big time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Councilmember Veros.
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you. Thank you for applying. So, Lee, what motivated you to be part of this commission?
So glad you asked that question. So I personally love the library. In middle school, hopefully not giving away my age, but in middle school and grade school, we had libraries and we used them a lot. So I spent a lot of time in the library, and then as well in college, that was my go-to comfort zone. And then after I graduated, I just always am attracted to libraries and I love it. I have a New York library, city library card, and yeah, everywhere I move to, I go, I always apply for a library card, and I just love hanging out there and what it brings and all the resources. And yeah, I just wanted to contribute and give back.
Thank you.
Councilmember Zafar.
Hi, Lee. Welcome to San Ramon, and thank you for, as a new resident, applying to be a representative. Anything you can share that as a San Ramon resident, how would you represent us on the Library Commission, and what value can you bring for us?
Yes. So I, given the situation of the pandemic and, everyone having to shelter in place and things like that. And as we gradually go back to the norm, as they call it, and after June 15th, I would love to bring up some ideas and, discuss with the commission on the different activities and how we can promote the library again in this new world, in this new environment, and especially do more events for kids of all age groups as well as adults. So yeah, that's my actually main goal as part of the application.
Thank you.
Councilmember, have I asked Councilmember Veros?
Oh yeah, already done. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Armstrong.
Hi, Lee.
Hi.
Have you been to the Doherty Station Library yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. They hopefully will be doing some remodeling and some improvements. But let me ask you, based on your experience in libraries that you've been to in the past, what are some of the features that are most important in terms of how a library is organized and situated with some of the internal features that you find in a library?
Yes, I love that question. I think obviously easy navigation, but the most recent example I can think of is the Castro Valley Library, where I did really like their layout. The promotion is kind of like community and group meetings as soon as you step in. So it's just like this open area. And then to the right, it's like where kids can play, like a kid zone. And then areas for tech, so help the elderly population or young students with printing, using the computer and things like that. And everywhere else, it'll be like audio contents, and then books and things like that. So it's just sectioned out very nicely, but, to promote that sense of newness and digital, but as well as, the traditional library sense with books and things that can be borrowed.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mine's a toughie, Lee. How'd you enjoy your time with the Santa Clara County's County on Aging?
Oh, I love it. It was my first job. I learned so much. Yeah, I started out in nonprofit, so it helps me a lot. And as a young, new grad, I think just working with the geriatric and elderly population really helped me understand like their perspective and just I guess not to be too cheesy, but just learn the different life lessons. But yeah, it was a great first job, and my boss was really very yeah, she's been in the business for a while, so it was good to learn from her.
Yeah, I like working with their electeds down there also.
Oh,
well, Lee, your next minute and a half, or any questions you might have about what we're doing tonight, or if there is any other statement you'd like to make before we make this tough decision tonight.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, what were some of the initiatives or how you pivoted, given COVID-19, and how, yeah, if there are any initiatives that you guys kind of implemented already and where you plan to take that, and yeah, just the next steps.
Always looking ahead. Scott, you've got your unmute on. Do you have any comments?
Well, we've been working with the county because the county is the lead on most COVID-19 activities, and they kind of set the standards for what we do and what we can't do. Our staff has been very proactive in helping people that have been shut in, providing resources to them, whether it's toilet paper or it's a meal. We've been doing quite a bit of that, but we're slowly opening up, and City Hall is mostly open, and our Parks and Community Services Department is mostly doing the things they've done in the past. So we're moving forward, and it's a small but slow process.
Thank you. Anyone else before we thank Lee for her time tonight? And we're going to make a decision tonight. I wouldn't hold my breath on waiting for the letter that tells you you're going to be it, because you're going to be it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Well, thank you for your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Move. Go ahead. I see hands moving in different. I think Sridhar wants to be the first person to talk here. Go ahead. Sridhar.
Oh, hi.
We're just waving bye.
Yeah, we are just saying waving bye, but anyway. So
I thought you were going to make the motion.
Yeah, I'll move the motion for
second.
Okay, we have a motion for Rose, second so far, to appoint Lee Mack to the Contra Costa County Library Commission. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Sorry, to appoint her to the commission with the term expiring June 30th of 2024.
Good, I didn't even see that on there. Thank you. Add that.
Councilmember Barros.
yes.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Yes.
Councilmember Zafar.
Yes.
Vice Chair Perkins.
Yes.
And Mayor Hudson.
Yes.
Thank you. That passed 5-0.
Okay, the next item is, double checking here, the Open Space Advisory Committee appointments. Recommend that the City Council review the applications. There are only 2 candidates for 2 seats. This will be for regular members for terms through July 2023. It's my understanding John Miklos and Robert Peoples are currently on open space. Any discussion or motions?
I'll move we appoint Bob Peoples and John Miklos for terms to expire in July 2023.
You're too late. Sabina got in first. You want to second it?
Yeah.
Okay, motion so far, second. It was a close one, but I heard that voice underlying, and I knew she was going to say that. Comments. Councilmember Armstrong, you're on unmute. Did you have a comment?
No comments. I think they're, they're incumbents. They have experience. I think it's the right move.
Sridhar, any comments?
No comments. Good choice.
Okay, roll call vote.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrows,
Yes.
Councilmember Zafar,
Yes.
Vice Chair Perkins,
Yes.
and Mayor Hudson.
Yes, that's
Thank
5-0, and they will receive their notification. What are we? 3.4 is the Contra Costa County Mosquito and Vector Control District appointments. And this is an appointment through, what the heck is this? What are we doing here? Is this a 2023 or 2025?
Because he's being reappointed or being considered for reappointment, the term can either be 2 or 4 years per the vector control. So it is up to the city council what term limit you would like to set.
Oh, that is a motion, Perkins, for 4 years. I don't even need to hear the voice on that one. Is that correct?
I move Peter Pay to an appointment to the Contra Costa County Mosquito and Vector Control District Board of Trustees for a term to end in June of 2025.
I second that.
Okay, motion Perkins, second from Burrows. Any other, Mark, you unmuted just a vote. Sabina, you just a vote.
No, I had a question actually. So our liaisons to some of these, do we hear back a report out from them at some point? Yeah, because I don't remember
We
hearing
have-
about the mosquito vector stuff. So.
Sometimes we have to ask for it, but
Yeah.
we have heard. And I think we should continue to ask these
Yeah.
people to.
That is a very good point. I mean, to me, the last one that I remember that got a lot of attention, and I'm not sure if it's from this person, but was on the West Nile virus, and we were getting a lot of stuff out there in the water, and hey, what kind of direction should we be taking? So that's not gone. I mean, it just, it's so third or fourth down the road or down the line that nobody pays any attention to it. But that's a very good point. Let's ask for Peter to do it. I'm being asked the same thing when I got on San Joaquin Rail. I have to go to the supervisors to talk. So let's do it. Christina, do you have a comment?
I do. I know the Library Commission, the representative to the Library Commission does attend the library advisory committees and provides a report and feedback there, as well as the county position for aging citizens. They attend our city senior advisory committee. So if this council would like a special presentation from the vector control, we can arrange that as well.
Yeah.
And then that gets incorporated into the senior committee and the library committee's updates, right? Whatever they get, yeah.
Yeah.
But the vector, I think what you're asking for is directly to us. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Let's do the roll call vote and see if you can sneak in 30 minutes before we start the real deal.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrows,
Yes.
Councilmember Zafar,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Yes.
and Mayor Hudson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Okay, that's a 5-0. We're good. There's no further business, so we are adjourned to the next special meeting unless you guys want to sit around and talk for 30 minutes before the city council. That's what I thought. The city council meeting starts at 7 o'clock. See you then. Bye.
Thank you.